Balanced. Balanced.
Hello guys, this is mainly Overwatch, and we're bringing you the new Rework Torbjorn guide. Rework Torbjorn abilities, starting off with his primary fire from his rivet gun. It is a single projectile that does 70 damage per shot and now has an increased fire rate. So you should use this when you're firing at long range, and you should always account for the arc of the shot by aiming to the side and up a little bit in the direction you're aiming. You can also use it for spamming down choke, or just spamming in general, or focusing a target.
Alright guys, your secondary fire of your rivet gun is basically like a shotgun. It has less time between shots, however it is more accurate than your old secondary fire. Damage is reduced from 150 to 125. This is the sort of range you want to use for your secondary fire and not your primary fire.
So now Torbjorn's torrent can be thrown like a projectile, and it has its own unique arc which allows you to put it in places that your opponents will not be able to expect it coming from. What you can do with it now is, if a fight starts for example and both teams are fighting, they'll be distracted facing your team. You can place a torrent to the side while you're fighting, so you can get in extra damage as your torrent tracks down the enemy. And if you want to check out some amazing torrent places, we have a video for that coming soon. Here's a quick preview of that video.
I have big plans for you. Just look at you. I have big plans for you.
They are rather crazy, as you can see, these spots.
Okay, your next ability is Overload. It is your old Molten Core ability without upgrade to your turret. You have 150 temporary armor. It also gives you a speed boost to all your movements, such as attack speed, reloading your gun speed, and movement speed. It is generally best to use this ability to survive, especially when you're about to be dove on, or to do more DPS in the team fight and have a bigger impact in the game as you live longer.
Rework Torbjorn's ultimate, Molten Core, which has been redesigned, where he shoots projectiles of hot molten slag that can damage enemies in a area which you shot your projectiles, and it will cover a specific area for each one of those projectiles. And the heroes that step into it, it does 130 damage to heroes without armor and 190 for heroes with armor. So it's a great counter to Brigitte and her ultimate. It can also bounce off walls, which allows you to get it behind shields if you get the right angle. And one good thing to take from this is you can use it in chokes to stop an enemy from pushing when you feel like they're about to push, by just spamming it in the choke line. Also, if you're on a map where you have to control the point, if you shoot your ultimate on the ground, your Molten Core, you can cover the area and stop the enemy from stepping onto the point. so you can deny them access to that area. It's also good for stalling. And if they have heroes like Reinhardt, if you just avoid his fire strike, you can avoid him completely and he won't be able to get to you if you make Molten Core. Now for rework Torb tips. If you use your secondary fire and melee straight after, your animation cancel. It will allow you to do more damage. You can use your torrent to block attacks if you throw it in front of you. You can avoid McCree's after attack after his concussion if you throw it, but you'll still take damage from the concussion itself. You can avoid Roadhog's hook by throwing your torrent as well. You can block Reinhardt's fire strike and his Reinhardt charge by throwing your torrent as well. You can avoid almost all of Doomfist's attacks with your torrent. You can block Anna's sleep dart with your torrent. You can block Brigitte's shield bash. You can block your torrent with yourself to avoid it getting damaged when it's building, in case you think the enemy will destroy it. You can use your molten core on a wall to get it behind a enemy shield. Here you can see it for Reinhardt, and it also works for Orisa. Do not stack Torbjorn's molten core because it does not provide extra damage, as you can see with the Roadhog example here. They both die at the same speed, regardless of how many stacks. Your ultimate counters Brigitte heavily and kills her extremely fast. Great Torbjorn synergies are Anna with her ultimate, as it increases your damage. Other synergies is Zarya's Graviton Surge. If you shoot your molten core into it, it'll do a lot of damage. You actually don't need that many stacks. You only need one stack under the molten core. Then you can surround it with the rest. Also, you can do the same with Reinhardt's ult. Another way to use it is with Mei's ult. It's actually much better than the other two. Use your Torbjorn Molten Core ult on the enemy exits to trap them while D.Va's ult comes in. You can do the same with Hammer's ultimate to cover most of the points so the enemy has no place to go, and it will cover all of the point that way. With D.Va, you want to throw your torrent behind her so she can't matrix the shots while you focus her at the front. It'll be a close fight and it will be really hard for you to win because she's your counter. With Orisa, you want to throw your torrent behind her shield So if she uses her shield to avoid your shots, you can go in and out of her shield and your torrent will still hit her. And you can use your overload to get closer to her. Circle around. The strengths and weaknesses of the rework Torb. His main weakness is most of the time because they can survive his overload ability and his torrents, especially Diva, since she basically has 2 lives. And then Reinhardt and Roadhog, because they can get close to you and hit you. And Roadhog can just survive all your abilities. And Wrecking Ball has the same issue. He has a large health pool. The only 2 you can kill reliably is Orisa and Zarya. And Winston is a close match because he uses his bubble to dodge your attacks.
So at close range, your overload ability can mostly beat all the heroes, including the DPS, but there are some close matchups with some heroes such as Reaper, Junkrat, Mei. However, at long range, most of the long range heroes can beat you, such as Hanzo, McCree, Soldier 76, and as well as Widowmaker. But make sure you use your overload ability to keep moving around and using your speed boost ability to get the up on them.
For the supports, Torbjorn can kill all of them except Brigitte, since Brigitte can shield bash him and kill him before he can even use overload. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys support the channel by subscribing, and if you want to see more Torbjorn videos, there will be one coming soon for his torrents.